Peter Gotti, the brother of Gambino boss John Gotti, had carried on an extramarital affair for some 15 years with a named Marjorie Alexander, who was at least 20 years his junior. When Gotti went on trial, Alexander was there with her 2 boys. In December of 2004, Gotti was sentenced to 25 years in prison for racketeering related to extortion in the construction industry and conspiring to murder government informant and former Gambino underboss Sammy Gravano. Alexander fell apart and spoke openly to the press, saying, "What does a little Jewish girl from Long Island have in common with Mr. Gotti? I can't begin to tell you how much we have in common. He's my bud and I'm his." She then petitioned the court for leniency on behalf of Gotti and without Gotti's consent. She wrote to the judge saying while Peter was not a Boy Scout, he was not, and is not a mob boss. If ever a man doesn't belong in a family with such an infamous name and reputation, it is Peter. He is not his brother, John. Nor did he ever aspire to be. I've known Peter for 14 years, now. No one on this earth is closer to him than I. Your Honor, in plain English, Peter was no more the mob boss of the ETALS than Fredo was the boss of the Corleones in The Godfather. And while Alexander called him her soulmate, the real Mrs. Gotti, engaged in a divorce action, penned what one newspaper called a poison letter asking the judge for the max. She wrote, "His self-serving greed and philandering has put him where he is and deserves to be. I hope you can see through his pitiful act of innocence and weigh all the facts. Only then will you serve justice, and I feel you will." Apparently, Gotti was livid at what she had done. In March 2004, Alexander asked a reporter to get a message to Peter saying, "Don't be angry with me. Please talk to me. I just want people to know who you are." A day later, she checked into a Long Island motel and swallowed a bottle of sleeping pills and tied a plastic bag around her head. She left a note and a tip for the maid, apologizing for the disruption.